Hey, 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 hey. How are we doing? How are we doing? This is your girl Kalungi and I'm back. And we're gonna be talking about all things female healthy aging cause oh my god, I'm a woman of a certain age. I've just gone through the grinder since COVID. I've been through the grinder, and at first I did not recognize the signs. But before COVID, I was going through all kinds of things every time it got towards winter, and I just did not connect the dots. So today we're gonna talk. My name is Kalungi. For those of you that don't know me, I'm a mom, I am a wife, I'm a community leader, I am the chief chef at Kalungi Group, and I am so humbled to have been enabled by Liverpool Local Solutions, local connections, to talk about these two usually taboo topics, especially when it comes to women. See, I thought I was going mad. As we say back in Uganda. I thought I was going mad. For years, I wondered why I was extra sad, I was extra moody, I had no energy, I dreaded and felt quite horrible in winter. And now let me preface this. And I'm so thankful, I'm so grateful that I finally learned that I do not have S.A.D, or what is called seasonal affective disorder. But I did quite feel so sad. I'd always just feel out of sorts. I felt like I just wanted to scream. Every little thing made me want to cry. And I'd put on a brave face on social media. I'd put on a brave face for my family. I'd put on a brave face when we'd go out. But I just didn't like winter. And so just not liking a season does not mean you have S.A.D, or seasonal affective disorder. And let me tell you, Google is a great resource, but search engines can also lead us astray, because my Google search led me to seasonal affective disorder. Having asked several questions, it just kept bringing up a lot of information about S.A.D. It even got so funny that when I would go to LinkedIn, or I'd go to Twitter, or I'd go to other platforms, it would bring up that information in my feed. And I do not have S.A.D. But after years of dreading winter in silence, the mood swings, the lack of energy, wanting to curl up in bed for days, quadrupled when I turned 45. And it just got worse every winter. And this winter, I really, really thought I was going mental. Honestly. So much so, I've been anxious for most winters. I've been experiencing anxiety for most winters. And you all know the anxiety, stress, fear, and all those, they are all on the spectrum of mental health. Okay? Mental health challenges. As a post-menopausal Black woman, yes, I'm putting it out there, who has faced these challenges, I'm aware of the implications. I am aware of the implications to your health, to your work, to your lifestyle, to your family, to your children, to your husband. It is known. The data suggests that more women over the age of 50 get divorced and get all kinds of challenges in their relationships, and the challenge is usually menopause and mental health related, because usually women in perimenopause, which we will talk about deeper, during menopause and post-menopause, sometimes face the 7 dwarfs of menopause: grumpy, floppy, foggy, snarky, inflamed, you name it. All those things seem to just hit women literally all at the same time. Now the conversations I'm gonna be holding, and the program that I've been enabled by Liverpool Local Connections to carry out, will help especially Black women of color, and their families in their work life, in your work-life balance, as you identify the signs of menopause, or even maybe S.A.D. And I will share some coping mechanisms that I've been using, and when to seek medical support. Very, very important. Okay, so this is an introduction of what I'll be talking about in the next few weeks. If you aren't yet subscribed, go ahead and hit that button. If you're on YouTube, hit the bell too. Follow me on all socials, Kalungi Group, or Julie Kalungi on Facebook, to be notified of the updates when we go on this journey together. I'm telling you, whether you're a man, and someone may be thinking, I'm a man, I don't need to know this. Even men need to know this, because you have women in your life, your mom, your sisters, your daughters, your aunties, your nieces, the women you work with, the women that work for you. All that, you need to know how to support these women and to break the stigma around mental health challenges and menopause. Now, some of you may be thinking, hey, Sylvia's gone off brand, or this is a commissioning that I have to do. Otherwise, I'm always talking about digital branding, digital graphics, web design, artificial intelligence. All those things are still going on Kalungi Group. So if you're not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, Kalungi Group is the YouTube channel. Go type in the search, you'll find it, and hit subscribe. Follow me on all socials, because I talk about all the beautiful things that are related to branding, building your brand online, staying connected in your socials, and literally building your brand without spending hours on social media. That's very important, because you don't see me on social media every day now, do you? Well, you do, but I'm not as I used to be, because I've learned a new way of working. So let's get started. Let's get right into it. We'll be talking about these two topics most summer, and I'll be sprinkling in several conversations around branding. Then we'll talk about menopause challenges, your symptoms, your body changes, how these link to your mental health. We will talk about mindfulness and how this can truly support your mental health, irrespective of the season or weather and life, and irrespective of which part of the world, which continent you live in. More people get to understand more around seasonal affective disorder and actually rule it out if that's the case. And we'll see the link between these two phenomena, S.A.D and menopause. For any women over the age of 30, you will understand how this can affect your mental health, your physical health, your work health, your social health, your family health, all these things. I intend for this program to create a platform for Black migrant women and our families and men in our lives and our young daughters to understand our bodies and our mindset, to embrace mindfulness as part of your self-care, and encourage Black people to speak openly and freely about mental health and menopause. This, in turn, will encourage and give confidence to Black women and more families to reach out for medical support or specialist support, especially when it comes to menopause. I cannot emphasize enough that you need specialist support. Okay, so I'm gonna bring it. I'll be sharing mostly on YouTube, because I'd like to do proper presentations. I'd like to give you proper insights. I'd like to show you my data and research, which is not very possible on Facebook unless you use a third-party tool to live stream. I could do that, but it's a bit of a dicky. So, but very briefly, I'm going to just introduce the topic. Menopause is a natural transition in a woman's life, and it's both physical and psychological, and it's all around our reproductive health, and it happens in phases referred to as premenopause, perimenopause, menopause, and everything after a woman stops having her menstrual cycle is postmenopause, and that happens after, and it can be for however many years you live. Okay, hi Taya, how are you doing? Welcome. I'm so happy to see you, my sister. I'm so glad to see you. So we will define menopause deeper soonest, preferably in the next episode, and we will define what seasonal affective disorder is again in the next episode. But I'll just very, very briefly give you a picture what S.A.D means, because I think last year I talked about S.A.D and someone said, S.A.D, why are you sad? Why were you sad? And I'm like, it is a disorder. And they were like, oh, okay. And they kind of, I think, drifted off. But S.A.D is an acronym for seasonal affective disorder. It is a mental health challenge that many women face, and many men, many people, not just women, many human beings face, and we don't even know and realize it. And like I said when I prefaced this live, thank goodness I do not have S.A.D. But I truly believed I had S.A.D. for years. So Black women of African descent come from tropical climates, usually Jamaica, in the Caribbean, Africa, and they've never experienced winter until they moved to the West. Now, with time, the cold seasons, and for some summer, because seasonal affective disorder can actually affect people even in the warmer seasons, it's more around the winter seasons. So it affects your mental well-being, the way you show up, the way you treat yourself, it affects your whole family and your whole life. And for women, we carry the burden of society, of nurturing families, of birthing families, and many are single parents with 2 to 3 jobs that never seem to cover the ever-rising bills, and the cost of living crisis, the economic inflation, extended winter this year specifically has highlighted these challenges and truly affected a ton lot of women. I cannot tell you how many women reach out to me in private every day saying, Sil, I'm going through this. I just need to talk to somebody. I remember you said something about this. Can you please talk about it? And I intend to share my journey. And postmenopause. You are in postmenopause. I am in postmenopause, but you're a very young woman. We'll talk about that, because I'll tell you something. This is something I've never shared before. I had early menopause, what people call early menopause, because they expect that we women are birthing, baby making machines, and therefore when you stop having your periods, you're no longer vital. And that's not true, because we have what we call surgical menopause, where people have had their ovaries taken out for medical reasons. There's menopause that's forced due to medical conditions. People who are undergoing certain treatments sometimes get menopause, and it's irreversible. It just doesn't, they never get their period back, especially people who are going through things like radiation therapy, chemotherapy. And then there are people who choose to change their genders and move from female to male, so their reproductive system is completely shut down, and they are forced to take hormones that turn them into, to help them transition, and they are forced into early menopause. So a lot of people think menopause just only happens to old women, and it's nothing to do with that. And I'll tell you how early menopause started for me as we go along this journey. It was very early. You cannot believe it. So I intend to share this on my YouTube channel at Kalungi Group. So be sure to be subscribed and get notified when I upload a soundbite or a video. And why am I doing this? Because I'm a woman who has faced the beast called menopause. A lot of us look at menopause with fear. We look at menopause like it's a huge challenge, and therefore we face what we self-prophesy. We tell ourselves it's hard. We tell ourselves it's horrible, and so we actually manifest what we keep telling ourselves. So many women fear menopause so much so that, and because we connect our femininity to birthing, to having babies, and having babies requires having your periods, and obviously having the other fun stuff. I'm not talking about that. And that shouldn't stop just because of menopause. But my goodness, menopause does affect that in major ways. And I'm going to tell you now, I'll give you solutions to that too. I'm talking about dry VJRJs. Excuse my German. I'm just teaching something. Okay. So we are the mothers, we birth nations, we birth and nurture ideas. It's very important to understand our bodies, what happens as a result of transitioning from puberty to menopause. Posing puberty. That's what menopause is. Literally, or ending puberty. Puberty meaning childbirth. So I believe that it is time for society that we live in, and I'm so grateful for the Liverpool Local Connections to recognize that the world truly needs to stop the stigma that's attached to women, because oftentimes women in menopause are also considered too old for all kinds, and then they are treated badly just because they're having their periods. They're having horrible periods. I had the worst periods before menopause hit me. During my perimenopause, it was like a tap had been turned on in my inside and it wouldn't stop. Like it would not stop. For 2 straight weeks, I'd have periods. It was horrible. I felt dirty. See the words I'm using? I felt dirty. I felt horrible. And so you can imagine those were the thoughts in my body, in my mind, and I was transitioning, and I was not stopping to think what was I thinking that was going to then bring so many other horrible things to my life during the transition. I have had the privilege of getting professional support from a menopause mental health specialist and coach, and I'll tell you about that as we go. I have sought help from, and I'm also humbled to have received support from Liverpool therapy rooms. Again, you need mental health support. It's very important. Talking therapy is so important for you. And I'm not promoting any of these. I'm just sharing with you what I've done. A lot of women have stigma around seeking help, especially therapy. Therapy is very important. In fact, a wise person once told me, you seek therapy when you don't need it, not when you need it. That way you preempt any challenges. So I'm going to share with you my personal journey and experiences. It's also important that women of all ages tune in, because all women, as long as you stay alive and you get towards your 50s, 60s, you're going to get into menopause. And some women start even in their early 30s or late 30s. And it is so sad, because for me, menopause started in my late 30s. So yes, it can start for you in your 30s. So don't be thinking it does not happen for you. And it can take years. It can take between 7 and 14 years to get to the end of the whole process. You can imagine the torture that women go through because they do not know, they do not seek help, they don't want to talk about it, they don't want to talk about it at all. It's important that we tune in. Invite the men in your life so that they understand what you're going through. Let them watch these videos that I'm going to be sharing with you. So, and also for young women to notice what's coming your way so that you'll be better prepared and extend yourself some grace and get your body in the right state of nutrition, of rest, of movement, of all the good things you need to do in order to make sure that you go through a better season and transition from puberty to postmenopause, really. So why am I talking about seasonal affective disorder? Because I thought I had that. For years I did. Because I hated winter. I hated winter with a vengeance. I used to tell my husband, you brought me here, you really, really shouldn't. I hate it. Every winter we would have the same conversation. Even though I'd be feeling so horrible, I'd put on a smile and come out. But there are some people who literally cannot even go out when they are going through that mental health challenge. They don't want no light. They don't want to go out. They may not even be able to feed themselves. They may not be able to move. It's a serious mental health challenge. They feel so sad. They feel so moody. They feel like they are in a dark pit and they can't come out. There are people who are going through that and they are facing a serious mental health challenge. Of course, it's a type of depression, but it is season centric, if that makes sense. For some people it's winter, for some people it's summer. I do not know if there's anybody in the tropics who suffers from seasonal affective disorder, because the seasons are almost all the same. Rain season, dry season, it's summer all year. But in the Western Hemisphere, there are seasons, and in countries like UK, sometimes the seasons morph into each other and you don't know whether you're coming or going, and winter drags on and summer doesn't show up, and some people have a terrible time. So we're going to talk about it. But I'm truly encouraging you to tune into these conversations so you can prepare for what's coming your way. If you're still a young woman, still going through puberty, still childbirth, having periods, whether they are great periods or not great, there are also ways to also improve your periods experience, your menstruation cycle and experience, so that you do not have horrible menstruations. I encourage you to watch a woman called Barbara O'Neill. She has various natural ways to help you with your menstruation. And I'm not going to mention further because, I do not have rights to mention her. I've been Julie Sil Kalungi, also known as Sylvia Kalungi. We will be talking about these two taboo subjects deeper. And I'll go deeper into menopause because that's what I've been going through since pre-COVID. Yeah, that's what I've been going through. So it's been a journey, but in the last 20 months, it's been a beautiful journey. I can tell you that it's been beautiful in the last 20 months. I'm enjoying the process. I'm enjoying my postmenopausal life. I have the body of a 20-year-old and I'm so excited to be like this today. And that is because I took my health into my own hands. I focused on functional medicine. I looked for people who practice functional medicine, who will look at my body holistically, as opposed to just the single, looking at my symptoms in silo, as opposed to looking at them holistically. It's very important to find somebody who will look at you in that way, as opposed to you tell them I'm going through this and they go, oh, here's a pill for that, here's a drug for that, here's this for that. I'm not against medicine. We need medicine. I love doctors. I love doctors. The thing is, when you're going through certain things, you need to seek specialist support, and here in the UK you can insist on that specialist support. It is your right. Take care. God bless you. Like I said, follow me for more shizo. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Kalungi Group, so that you don't miss a single update of this amazing topic that I'm going to be downloading for you. And obviously, if you're looking for somebody to support you in your digital branding, website design, website management, AI management, content development, Kalungi Group Co-op Social are your people. We can help you with that. We can turn your digital brand from silent billing nomads to really doing what you need to do without spending hours on social media. I love SEO. I love all things digital. I embrace digital branding way back. You've been seeing me on these digital streets for years, and you don't see me do much of this anymore. Why? Because I discovered SEO years ago, website marketing. You attract who you need to your website and to your offers without spending hours. I also encourage you to tune into my podcast, Your Power Echoes with Julie Sil Kalungi, where we will be uploading these as sound bites, because some people just don't like to watch videos. They love listening. We all have different senses. So it will be going live on my podcast site. Well, not live. It will be uploaded to my podcast, Your Power Echoes with Julie Sil Kalungi, both on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Podbean. Have a beautiful rest of your life. Rise and shine to your awesome destiny. It is right there waiting for you. I love you. God bless you. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate you. Take care. Bye.